are going to be there for Rangers, so it's a really difficult situation. They're struggling without that presence up front.
Gives a new meaning to hospital touch. That.
In what? In what? Take a look.
Hello all and welcome, it's your boy No Trim Niren. We're back once again for yet another instalment of FTW. Football this week is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer across the course of a week. It's also now been a week since the Premier League ended, and it being done is having somewhat of an effect on me personally. But helping me through this difficult time is the prospect of European football coming up shortly, as well as the chaos that was last weekend's FA Cup final. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was the star of the show as Arsenal were victorious over Chelsea in the final at Wembley. And after an opener from Christian Pulisic, Borussia Dortmund were very aware of the impact that they've had on English football. Pulisic's injury just after half-time was a turning point in the game. What he had to say afterwards was truly heartbreaking.
Mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
Chelsea are now the official Banter Club partner of FTW, like the sponsorship and everything. You can't be losing an FA Cup final to Arsenal and think you're going to get away with it. The game itself was very entertaining, very good final, actually pretty open. Arsenal definitely deserved it off the balance of play, but got lucky at various times, including with some of the refereeing decisions. Kovacic's second yellow was ridiculous. I've seen stronger tackles in non-contact sports, for crying out loud. It was nothing more than a light tickle, a slight caress of the boot, you know, just like a real sensual, just kind of stroke of the boot. To be honest, Chelsea deserved this bad luck for their absolutely shocking alternate kit they've just brought out. Maybe London is red after all, who knows? Nicola Pepe put in a really good performance, and hearing his teammates laughing from the bench when he nutmegged one of the Chelsea players was a key highlight of the game to me. Olivier Giroud's performance, not quite as good. Acting performance, very solid. Arsenal goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez had a very hairy moment coming out and claiming a ball which was just on the line of his area. He made light of the issue later on, saying that he was catching Pikachu. Very impressive multitasking from him, I've got to say. I can't reiterate this enough, by the way. Chelsea have lost to Arsenal in the FA Cup final.
F Chelsea, Chelsea shit. Yeah. F Chelsea, what? F you. F Chelsea. F you. F Chelsea, pussy or what? Say something. F Chelsea.
Their goalkeeper, Caballero, is older than Mikel Arteta, for crying out loud. As I said though, Arsenal's performance, they definitely deserve to lift a trophy. Well, I say lift a trophy. He might not be able to do the simple task of lifting, but at least his teammates still rate him. Timo Werner was at the stadium watching the game, and I think he was crying out for help, really. This tweet from RB Leipzig's admin would seem to back up said evidence. An absolutely slam dunk shithousery award for them. But away from the FA Cup, the new Manchester United home kit has been announced, and it looks like a red version of a seat from the 3:47 PM number 21 bus from Newington Green to Lewisham. Prior to the final, a couple of Arsenal players picked out a new kit for diminutive defensive midfielder Lucas Torreira. I mean, it's a good shout, but personally I think it still could be a little bit baggy on him. And Wolves' TikTok account has pumped out some very solid content as well. Listen, it's not Harry's fault, okay? His gigantic head just weighs him down via gravity. Can't do anything about it. But down in the Championship, there was an extremely important match. The playoff final at Wembley between Fulham and Brentford. The Bees going into the game convinced that Fulham were going to be fearful of them. Said Benrahma saying that you don't play in finals, you win them. Their own manager saying he was convinced they were going to be victorious.
But Brian then sees where the goalkeeper is, and he's expecting a cross.
Rather predictably, Fulham won the West London edition of football's richest game, earning promotion to the Promised Land with a 2-1 victory after extra time. I won't lie to you all, lads, Brentford have absolutely bottled promotion. But one silver lining is if you played football via expected goals, they'd have been promoted. So listen, it's not all negative. I wanted them going up because I was born very close to their stadium, but it's okay. Listen, it's not gonna affect me. Listen, lads, I'm not gonna cry. I just want to know what I've done done to deserve witnessing Abu Bakar Kamara bumbling about again in the Premier League next season? We just want something new. Fulham had their chance and they blew it before. Fulham as a whole may have been overtaking their rivals, but Alexander Mitrovic was flipping undertaking them with this WWE move. Imagine this guy in the Premier League next season with VAR. There's going to be more cards than Dynamo's back pocket. Brentford are going to have the shock of their lives when they're expecting to get promoted next season, but their whole squad's been completely ramsacked.
Easy top 3. If I'm not 16!
EFL stats and tips predicted a Thomas Kearney missed penalty, a Michael Hector red card, and Joe Bryan to score an own goal with Brentford winning. What actually happened was Joe Bryan scoring twice for Fulham, and then Fulham won the trophy. Brilliantly, Joe himself managed to find the tweet. I think it's fair to say I will not be taking any stats or tips from this account. Now, elsewhere in the Premier League have announced that players could be punished via either yellow cards or red cards if they cough on opponents. Guessing you're marking me for this free kick then? Yeah, unfortunately, mate. Oh, yeah, fairs. Yeah, that's oh, dear God, no. Gone are the days of tactical now, so you just phlegm all over the opposition these days. Had anyone even thought of doing this, realistically? You just clean through on goal and the defender just starts sneezing all over the gap. How do the referees even decipher whether it's a yellow card cough or a red card cough? Oh, this is a bad one. This could be bad, Martin. I just need to see the replay now. Yeah, that's intentional. That's mass dispersal. There's germs everywhere. Norwich midfielder Todd Cantwell isn't letting the club's relegation get in the way of a good time. He's distracting himself with the use of TikTok. I knew I should have been a fan of, like, lacrosse or something instead. I mean, this from Todd is still better than his compatriot James Maddison, who took to Insta to try and get with a girl who didn't want to get with him. James, sort that out, big man. Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea stumbled upon his doppelganger in the form of Ross County's manager. They are the same man, though I'm sure the one on the right is still a better goalkeeper. YouTube-based football club #United confirmed that they would be taking part in the FA Cup preliminary rounds this year. I swear to God, if I see Spencer FC hashtagging it in a 90th minute winner at Wembley this season, I'm gonna lose it. Meanwhile, in the midst of the Premier League's strong stance to end racism of all shapes and sizes in England, Scotland tried to take a very similar viewpoint.
And the plan is to take a knee. I think one or two of the St Mirren players aren't quite sure of the new protocols.
Now, another big bit of Premier League news was that Eddie Howe left Bournemouth via mutual consent, which is a posh way of saying that Eddie walked into the boardroom. The board were like, big man, if you don't leave, we're going to sack you. And Eddie was like, listen, say less in it. I mean, it's a difficult one. Once they waited to get relegated, I feel like he would probably be better in the job. I feel like if they were going to sack him, they should have sacked him before the end of the season to see if the new manager impact actually saved them. Regardless, he's a very good coach and hopefully he gets a job back in the Premier League. But if he hadn't single-handedly guided them from League 2 to here, he would have been sacked at least 4 times this season, let's be real. I'm sad for Bournemouth about their relegation, but equally they were reliant on Dominic Solanke to try and keep them up, and any team in that situation deserves to go down. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Over in Europe, and Cristiano Ronaldo's son, naturally named Cristiano Jr., seems to be excelling in the under-9s league with like 80 goal contributions in not that many appearances. I'm not surprised. Cristiano has his children in the gym 23 hours of the day. This kid was probably doing bicep curls as a fetus, fam. Colombian winger Juan Cuadrado managed to steal the spray of the referee and then for some reason just dashed it all over him. I don't know why or how this occurred, but if this was in England, it'd have been taken to VAR and he would have been sent off. Over in Germany, and Erling Haaland posted a picture of himself working out in the gym. One fan asked why he isn't verified yet, and James here replied saying he couldn't pass the robot capture test, to which Erling actually responded, which is phenomenal. You may ask how he even found that reply. It's actually his inbuilt antivirus looking for specific tweets. Meanwhile, in Australia, former Newcastle defender Stephen Taylor has a very unique way of putting goalkeepers off during a free kick scenario. It's a second Housery award of the day, and it's a very deserved one for Stephen. But But now it is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now, today's definitely happened recently, and there's a crowd in it. No, listen, don't watch that. This was very recent, not a long time ago at all, and it's a quite extraordinary clip from Leamington FC's captain. Listen, there's never a bad time for a pint, okay? On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Mexico, we appear to have a footballer who styled his hair based on a potato smiley. There's the development that Scottish side Ross County have 3 goalkeepers, all with the first name Ross. Over in Austria, a side won 6-1 on the final day of the season to try and bump up their goal difference, and still didn't get promoted because their promotion rivals won 9-0 in a different game, and hence were promoted on goal difference. And finally, there's the sad news that Manchester City club legend Scott Carson has officially left the club after a stonking 0 appearances in his time on loan from Derby. It's a sad farewell, but it is time to say goodbye to a man who has inspired the next generation. Children in the Manchester area will grow up knowing the impact that he's had on this club, and for that they will always be grateful for Scott. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.